Today we're going to make some spicy chicken livers, and this is a creamy dish. You can have this served as a main meal, or you can have it as a wonderful starter. So first things first, in a clean pan you want to go in with some olive oil, followed by some onions, lots of garlic, and some green chilies. You can add in a lot more green chilies depending on how hot you would like this to be, but I decided to go in with one sliced green chili. And basically what you want to do is you want to make sure that these onions are nicely cooked and they are translucent in color. At this point you want to take out some of the onions and you want to set them aside. You're going to keep the remaining part for the chicken livers, and the part that you're taking out, you're going to set that aside for the creamy sauce. Next, you want to go in with your chicken livers. I went in with 250 grams of chicken livers. That's one container of chicken livers. You can keep them whole, or you can slice them up even finer if you wish. So what you basically want to do here is you want to make sure that everything's nicely incorporated, and you want to give these a good fry for a couple minutes until they start to change in color and become less pink. And so you'll fry this for a good 4 to 5 minutes. Whilst this is frying, you can give it a good seasoning with some pepper and with some salt, and you'll be seasoning as you're going along. So don't be afraid to under season. You rather under season than over season. And so as this is frying along, I also wanted to add more heat to this beautiful dish. So I went in with 1 teaspoon of chili powder. As I said, depending on your heat levels, you can add in less or you can add in more. So basically what we want to do now is let this brown and cook in the oil with the chilies and with the onions. Once again, make sure after you season, you give it a good amount of seasoning afterwards if you feel like there is less. To make sure that your livers are nice and seared, you can add in a little bit more oil and you can give it a quick fry. Once it's done, you can set that aside, and in the same pan with all of those wonderful goodies, you can go in with a little bit more of olive oil, and you can add the remaining part of the onions that we set aside for the sauce. And so this part's really simple. We want to basically achieve a nice creamy sauce, and so you're just going to give the onions a quick fry, and you're going to add some thyme. So you can add whatever herbs you would like. I prefer thyme with this particular dish. And then you want to give it a nice kiss of tomato puree. So just 1 teaspoon of tomato puree, and this is going to give that sauce a nice sweetness. So the tomato puree is going to be incorporated with the onions and chilies and thyme, and you're going to basically fry that out for 1 or 2 minutes. So this is the basis of the sauce, and so we are now going to start adding in some liquid so that we have a really nice saucy sauce. So the first liquid that we're going to go in with is some water. I went in with 75 ml of water, and this is basically just to pull together everything and make sure that everything sticks well, and this is basically the foundation of the sauce. As you can see, everything's starting to thicken up. We're going to go in with a tinge with more of water, so about 50 ml of water, and so we'll basically mix this up until it is nice and saucy in consistency. And so we're gonna go in with our hot sauce. I went in with 2 hot sauces. I do want to add that you can add whatever hot sauce you would like. You do not need to add these particular ones. I went in with the Chippies Peri Peri hot sauce, and then I went in with a second hot sauce of choice, and this is the Delagoa Bay sauce. Both of these sauces have been purchased from Spa, so you'll give that a nice mix, and you'll start to see that it's beginning to look a lot like chicken livers, just minus the chicken livers. So to take the heat up to the next level, I'm going to go in with half a teaspoon of smoked chili flakes, and we're going to give that a nice mix up with some water, so another 50 ml of water. And then to make the sauce creamy, we're going to go in with the others. We're going to go in with 75 ml of fresh cream. So you can add that in, and you'll start to see that this really is going to bring the sauce together, change the color of it, and give it that depth of richness as well. We're also going to add in some coriander. This is going to add another depth of flavor to this beautiful sauce. And finally, lastly, we're going to add the final star of the dish, the chicken livers, with all of the beautiful flavors it accumulated whilst we gave this a quick sear and fry. And we're going to mix that in gradually so that all of the flavors set in and this dish starts to come together. The most important part is that you allow, in this particular part of making the chicken livers, you allow the sauces to get into the livers and you allow it to just simmer in the sauce so that everything can come together. You'll see that after 2 to 3 minutes of simmering these beautiful livers, they are starting to change in color in terms of depth of color. So that's when you'll know it is ready and it is time to plate up and serve this baby up. You can plate your chicken livers and you can drench this beautiful creamy spicy sauce all over it, and you can serve it with some ciabatta bread, with some French loaf, with some garlic bread like I have. And lastly, you want to give it a quick topping of some coriander and it is ready to serve. Enjoy!